Fair warning, Broncos country. I know that some of you might not like what this outlet has to say about Bo Nix. But before we get into that, guys, I want to shout out the affiliate partner for today's video, Green Gridiron Helmets. Use code DENSYN, DENSYN, link in the description below to save off your first purchase on authentic NFL helmets. From small replicas like this one behind me to full-size authentic helmets. Again, that is code DENSYN, DENSYN, link in the description below to save off your first purchase from Green Gridiron Helmets. Thank you so much to them. And now back to your regularly scheduled content. I want to go ahead and bring in this article here from Dylan Von Arx of Mile High Huddle. The Athletic explains its, quote, reservations about quarterback Bo Nix. Simultaneously, they ranked the Denver Broncos roster as the 11th best in the NFL. So if we come down here in the article, the Athletic's Austin Mock utilized a model that considers several metrics to assign value to players based on their impact on a game. And with this model, they determined that Denver has the 11th best roster in the league, and Mock believes they'll be a sleeper in the AFC if they can add some more juice to their skill positions. Skill talent. That's what the Broncos need to add in the draft. The Broncos have a top 5 offensive line and one of the better defenses in the league, so there's no need to invest a ton of resources there. I disagree with that. I think you still need to invest in the defensive line and a little bit more in the linebacker room. I still have reservations about quarterback Bo Nix, but Coach Sean Payton remains a great play caller, and playing behind that offensive line makes life much easier for Nix. I would also say that playing with Nix makes life easier for that offensive line. We saw an offensive line, that same offensive line, play with Russell Wilson at quarterback, and Wilson took self-induced sacks left and right that made the offensive line look worse than they actually were. Bo Nix, albeit at the beginning of the season, took some of those kind of sacks himself. He made the offensive line look better because he got the ball out quickly. So it's a symbiotic relationship there between Nix and his offensive line, in my opinion. If the Broncos can find playmakers at wide receiver and running back in the draft, Denver could be a sleeper in the AFC this year. Denver seems to feel a little bit better about their wide receiving room than fans and media do. I don't think they're going to add a wide receiver high, but running back, I do believe they're going to invest some significant resources into that position. But let's talk about Bo Nix for a second and the reservations that this individual has about Bo, because some people would look in that and say, okay, Bo is just being bashed here by this analyst and there's nothing we should really read into here. But a lot of things can be true at the same time. Did Bo Nix have a special rookie season? Yes, he did. Was he the best Broncos quarterback since Peyton Manning? Yes, he was. Are there still areas where he can get better? Yes, there sure are. Like I talked about, he still will take self-induced sacks. He'll bail around in a clean pocket, dance around, and end up spinning into a sack. It looks quite similar to Russell Wilson. Sean Payton was able to live with Bo doing it because it only happened maybe once or twice a game as opposed to 5 or 6 times a game with Russell Wilson. But that is still an area of Bo Nix's game where he needs to develop, he needs to trust his pocket, he needs to trust his routes to develop, and he'll get better with that as time goes on. Remember, folks, Bo Nix was dealing with a lackluster supporting cast. He did not have very good weapons outside of Courtland Sutton and occasionally Marvin Mims. Additionally, the Broncos had one of the worst run games in the NFL. Improving all of those areas will help Bo Nix be more successful. He's got another reliable pass-catching target in Evan Ingram, which is going to be a huge addition to this offense. And they're also hoping that some of their young receivers in Devon Vele and Marvin Mims, as well as Troy Franklin, will step up and take that next big growth, and that next big step in their growth in their career. So I really do feel like the Denver Broncos are confident that they have put more resources around Bo Nix to be successful. I still feel like they can add an inline tight end just to make the run game a little bit more sound because Sean Payton said it himself. The run game is the best friend of a young quarterback, as well as having a good defense. So if you can have those two things, and the Broncos have a really good defense, and they might be able to make their defense even better in the draft, and if they can improve their run game, then they are going to be in really good shape to put Bo Nix in a situation to take that next step forward in his career. We saw CJ Stroud. He wasn't exactly able to take that step forward. He was still a really excellent quarterback in his sophomore season, but the situation around him regressed in terms of the offensive line. The skill position players got hurt left and right. Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell both went down for the season. Nico Collins was banged up throughout the year. So he wasn't really able, CJ Stroud wasn't able to step up and take that next big step in his development. Bo Nix hopefully will be able to do that this year if the offensive line can stay healthy, if the skill position players can step up. All of those things will help Bo Nix step up in his rookie year. So I can understand having reservations about Bo Nix because there are areas of his game where he needs to get better. You also think about inconsistent accuracy deep downfield. And I'm not saying that Bo Nix can't throw the deep ball. It's very evident that he can based on watching the film last year. But I want him to be able to hit those deep shots, let's say 7 times out of 10, as opposed to the 5 times out of 10 that he's hitting them now. That's just an area where if he can get a little bit more consistent with throwing with his hips and not throwing off of his back foot, that's going to help a lot with that. Once Josh Allen was able to marry his lower body mechanics to his upper body mechanics, that's when he took that massive step forward in his career in 2020. I think Bo Nix could be in for a similar trajectory. There are times where it looks like he's throwing with all arm and he's not putting enough torque into the throw with his hips and with his base. If he can improve on that, then his downfield accuracy can get even better than it already is. And he's proven that he's a much better deep ball thrower than he was regarded as coming out of Oregon. People who actually watched the tape at Oregon saw that, but a lot of people just looked at the short passes he was asked to throw a lot of times at Oregon and just assumed that he couldn't throw the deep ball. He 100% can. He just needs to be a tick, and I mean a tick, more consistent with it at the NFL level. Those are just minor, nitpicky things that Bo Nix needs to get better at. Bo has already taken massive leaps forward since he started his NFL career. He is a much different quarterback than the quarterback who took the field week 1 in Seattle, and he's going to be a much different quarterback as the year progresses on next year. So I'm really excited to see all the steps forward that Bo Nix is going to take. I understand there may still be some reservations, but at the end of the day, Sean Payton got this pick right with Bo Nix, and I'm very confident he's going to make those strides. All right, guys, let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that Bo Nix is being put in a position to make these strides forward in his sophomore season? And are you concerned at all about the sophomore slump with Bo Nix? Drop those comments down below, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts, as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country, just like you and me. And until next time, guys, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.